Okay, hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to talk about lists in Python. So lists are a data type or a data format wherein you can put values or, for example, variables or strings. We haven't really talked about strings yet, but you'll see what I mean in this tutorial. So let's get started. Now, if you haven't watched my other tutorial, the links to the last one will be in the description. Okay, when you're making a list, the first thing you have to do is name your list. So we're going to call this list with a capital L. If you try to do list with no capital L and just a lowercase l, that's actually a function, which we talked about in the last tutorial. So list equals, and then we're going to do a square bracket. And here's where we list our values. So let's make our values integers. So 1, 2, 3, for example. Now we're going to close it with a square bracket and hit enter. So what did we just do? Well, we created a list, and the list is called list. So let's type in list, and it's gonna return our values 1, 2, 3. You might think, well, that's great, but what is that good for? Well, what you can do with lists, for example, you can, during your program, you can save values in a list and then call the values from the list whenever they're needed. So I can do list 1, and it'll call 2. And why did it call 2 and not 1? Well, here's how it works in Python. Since I typed in 1 in my square brackets here, what it's going to do is it's going to pick the second value. That's because the first value Python knows as 0. So if I do list 0, it'll actually give the first value. That's just something you got to remember because but the first value in a list is going to be 0. That's how you're going to call it. I can also do list 2, and that'll give me the third value. So when you're calling something, just remember that to whatever value you want, say you want the third value, you're going to subtract 1, and then that's the number you're going to call. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So if you call 2, you're going to get the third value. Okay, so that's all good, but what if you want to add something after you've made the list? You don't want to have to type out the list all over again. What you can do is you can do the name of your list dot append. And then you're going to do a normal bracket. Now you can enter whatever value you want. So I'm going to enter 4, and when we call our list again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Another function we can use is list dot insert, and then it's going to give us, we want to insert it at 4, and the object, which is the value, is going to be 5. So now that we call list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and remember I said 4 because 4 actually represents the 5th index, or the 5th position in the list. You can also do something called list.count, and what that's going to do is count how many times a value appears in the list. So count 2 appears once. That's right here. List.reverse, and then just close it. And we're going to see now it made the last value the first value, and the first value the last value. It basically reversed it, just as the name implies. So you can do list.sort, and what that'll do, if you just close it right away, is it'll, sort it from the lowest value to the highest value. So even though it was in reverse, the list.sort function resorted it to be in that position. So that's kind of cool. Now, we can also reassign values. So if we do list equals 1, 2, 3, it's not gonna add 1, 2, or 3 to the list. It's just gonna remake list, delete everything here, and remake it so that it equals 1, 2, and 3. So that's all for this tutorial. Well, just if you didn't know, you can also add strings. So a quotation mark, and then say a word like hello world, hello YouTube, and then the list will equal hello YouTube. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next tutorial.